Good morning and welcome to week 2. We're off and running. This is a great week to think through some important principles of ministry leadership, the differences in cultural background, and the differences in church sizes. Cultural dynamics, for instance, some churches prefer pipe organ music, others prefer country gospel. There are cultures that everything is timed out precisely in the service, and there are others that are just free flowing. And if Aunt Bessie stands and talks for 5 minutes, everybody just adjusts and doesn't get concerned about it. But there are other aspects of that we will think about as we work and read this week. We have the chapters in Chand, a powerful book to make us really stop and think, as well as in Mackintosh. Notice especially page 98, which he has that chart that he works on. This is a fictitious interaction between an experienced pastor and a young pastor. So it's the young pastor is asking questions that Dr. Mackintosh has been asked, and the older pastor is really Dr. Mackintosh giving his answers. But it's creatively written and a fun read as we stop and have to think through some issues. So we are assigned to read chapter 1, chapter 6, 7, and 8, and great material. Then we have 3 videos. Mine, I think, is about 2 minutes long, maybe a little more. And then the 2 by Chand are 9 and 2.5 minutes. As we think about this time in our lives, we in Illinois are mandated to stay in our house. That's you can leave if you have medical appointments. You need to buy medicine. You need to buy groceries, and that sort of thing. So it's a very unusual time. Yesterday, my wife and I, we are corporate worship people. So it's been a habit of our lives. I remember as a young child, I thought my parents were the meanest people on the face of the earth, because one Sunday they said I had to stay home from church because I was sick, and I had to stay home with the hired hand. I didn't feel terribly sick, but I thought that was the worst punishment they could ever give me. I couldn't go to church. So that's deeply embedded in my life, and we are faithful in attending. So we attended or participated in 3 online church services. Different time zones helps you accomplish that sort of thing. After 1 week, I can discern people who read and watch announcements and those who don't. It's just kind of evident. And so I encourage you to be one of those who does read them. Follow the assignment directions carefully. Some of you need to go back to your self-introduction because people, like myself, have asked additional questions. So you might get those answered. The assignment is to be a 4-page paper comparing how you would implement a change in a church that is small, using Mackintosh's comparisons, and a church that was a medium-sized direction. Again, I will say, use that page 98 as a background, at least, for what you have to write. And then our discussion board is so interesting. It's to evaluate a toxic versus an inspiring work situation. I don't know if you've ever experienced some of that, but I know I have. And I am concerned about young leaders leaving training and getting involved in a toxic staff situation. It's catastrophic. Most people will drop out of ministry because of the toxicity in that situation. Think it through. Be a person who stimulates an inspiring culture, not a toxic culture.